Hi everyone, it's Jess here. I just felt like I wanted to pop on here real quick and share some of the things that have been going on in my life recently. Um, Over the last little bit, I've actually been journaling with God, like I always do, and I felt like He was asking me to reflect upon this last year of my life, so the 25th year of my life. And in doing so, He was wanting me to reflect upon lessons that He's taught me and things that I've learned, as well as verses or His Word from the Bible that I have clung to over this last year of my life and how it's gotten me through to where I am now. And He had me, and I feel like He's having me reflect on these things, so I'm ready to step into this next year with everything that He has for me. And I felt like He also wanted me to share a few of these lessons with you. I do have 25 written out, but I won't share all 25 here on this video. Instead, I'll just share some of the ones that I feel like are more applicable to everybody, and things that I've learned that maybe you can learn from me and apply them to your own life. In whatever age or stage you are, it doesn't really matter how old or how young you are. You can apply some of these things that I've learned into your lives wherever you are right now. So the number one and most important thing that I learned this last year was the discipline of having a quiet time or having a time dedicated to meet with Jesus every day. Whatever that included prayer, included worship time, included journaling, and included reading His Word, the Bible. Now, you should know that prior to a year ago, I did have a devotion life. It just wasn't maybe as consistent as what it has been over this last year. And I have seen God grow me in this area in so many different ways. And that once it became more of a discipline for me to go and seek Him first thing in the morning, or for some people it may work better at night, but I do strongly urge you to find a time in your day that works best for you, and where you can prioritize God in that time. For me, it tends to work best in the morning because it gets me started off on the right foot for the day, and it allows me to come to Jesus, who is my source of hope, of love, of joy, and peace. And because I go to Him first thing in the morning, I'm better equipped to handle the day that's ahead before me. I'm better equipped to handle my coworkers' needs and my family's needs that I live with, and the children that I interact with and their families, and just people in general who come across my path every single day. So that is like probably the most important thing that I've learned. And for everyone, their quiet time or their time with Jesus looks a little bit different. And even for me, day to day, it looks a little bit different. But the thing is I have set it as a priority for me, and it's become a discipline to spend time in God's presence before I go to work every single day. Some days that looks like just worshiping, just singing worship music if I've woken up late and praying on my way into work. Or other days it looks like me reading my reading my Bible, reading certain passages of the Bible, or it's reading a devotion book from the Jesus Calling devotion book. In addition to journaling out my prayers and singing worship music, or it's having worship music on in the background and journaling my thoughts and my prayers with God, and journaling verses that stuck out with me, and having conversations with God in my journal. Each and every day it looks a little bit different, and that's okay. The important thing is that you are spending that time with God and continually going to Him, your source of everything, before your day begins. Or for some of you, your day might begin in the evening, because there are those people who have shift work. So whenever your day starts, I would highly recommend that you seek Him first before you begin any other activities of the day, because I have seen it in my life in the last year when I seek Him continually first thing in the morning before I go to work. Even though there may be horrible things that happen in the day, I'm better able to maintain a perspective on why those things have happened, and be able to give more grace to people who may have wronged me throughout the day, or may have negative attitudes towards me throughout the day. I'm better able to control that and control my tongue and be slow to speak, but being quick to listen when I spend time in His Word. And along with that, I have found over this last year, I found the importance, I've been reminded of the importance of hiding God's word in my heart and singing praise to him, even when it doesn't seem like I should be singing worship music I shouldn't be singing, and I shouldn't be happy or joyful. That worship always brings me back into God's presence, and it reminds me of who I am and all that God has done for me and all that he is doing for me and all that he will do, because he is a good father. I've learned also how important it is to continue to have a humble and teachable spirit, and being willing to be led by the Holy Spirit wherever he leads you. I've learned another lesson that I've learned is that God uses every circumstance to shape us and to mold us into who he's called and created us to be. They might not be situations that we want to walk through. They may be really difficult and painful circumstances, but we have a choice when we're walking through those situations, when we're walking with God. We can either choose to let those situations make us bitter and angry and hurt, or we can choose to let those circumstances and things that have happened to us, that are beyond our control and that maybe we don't like or we don't want in our lives, we can choose to make them help us to make us better with God. And he will use everything to work together for the good of you, because you were called by him. It's another thing along with that, like with choosing and letting God use our circumstances to shape us. Life can change in an instant, and I think we have all felt that this year, from March onwards, that no one really saw this whole thing coming, but it came and we were dealing with it. But we've learned, I think, as a society, but also like as myself personally in my own personal life circumstances, I've learned the importance of understanding that life can change very quickly, and how important it is to be flexible, to be going where God has called you, or to be able to be flexible with changes and to be trusting him when those changes happen. And another lesson that I've learned too, they're all, sorry if they're a little bit disjointed. I'm trying to make them a little bit more together, but it's a little bit hard with this. But another lesson that I've really learned with this is that more people are watching and are influenced by your actions than you think sometimes. We all know that people are watching us when we do things, but we're maybe not as intentional about how we do certain things or what we say sometimes. But it is very important to be careful about our actions and what we say, and that we do what we say we're going to do, and that we are people of integrity. So, because that leads into my next lesson that I learned, is that sometimes we are placed in the lives of people around us for very short periods of time, and we don't have a whole lot of time to really show them the love of Jesus. So it is very important for us to make every moment that we are with them count the best as possible. And evidently there's room for grace here. There has to be, because we're not perfect. I'm not perfect, but God he places you in the lives of others. So it's very important to be wise with our speech and how we act around others, and that we are people of integrity since we follow Jesus. And that other people are placed into your life for a lifetime. And those people are people you want to cherish and people you want to invest into greatly as they invest into you. So those are some of the 25 lessons that I've learned. And there are plenty more, but those are the top few. I guess the last one that I'll end on is journaling. I have found that journaling has been such a great way for me to grow in my relationship with God, understand who I am better through him, and understand more of where God is leading me and directing me to go. It's just been life-changing to journal, and actually since last August, I'm currently on my 8th journal in a year, and I know I've had a lot of time in the last few months to sit and write a lot, but to me, I find that's absolutely incredible to have that many prayers written down, that many experiences with God written down, that many notes from sermons, and just my own thoughts about what I've been going through and how I'm expressing how I trust God and things like that. So this video has become a lot longer than what I wanted it to, but I just hope this video encourages you that God is always at work in your life, and that each year that you are given is a blessing from God. And each year I would recommend, and I think this is something I might try and do, is I might try and reflect every year about some of the lessons that God has taught me throughout the year, and then I can hopefully not have to repeat and then I will remember those lessons that he has taught me. So I hope this encourages you, and I'm looking forward to what God has in store for my 26th year. So thanks for watching.